What's up everyone, Dead Robux here, and today we are continuing our playthrough of Rime of the Frostmaiden. Karis is the DM through the series, so I'm going to let her set us up for today. Go on, Karis.
Oh, oops, where'd I put my notes? Sorry. Okay, so in our last session, with our wizard Tallies petrified into an ice statue, the party raced back to Bryn Shander to find black iron blades destroyed, the smith gone to the Dwarven Valley, his sister reported dead, no sign of the large amount of Shardland they'd left, no sign of the weapons and armor they'd commissioned. Oh, seeking a caster to restore Tallies, the party was directed to the house of the Morning Lord. And although willing to pay anything at all to have Tallies restored to them, the priest, Mishan, asked for no payment. She had had a vision of a paladin of the sun and companions fighting to claim a sun-like orb that rises into the sky to banish the darkness and snow. She believes Cairo to be the paladin of her vision. And this vision also included a mysterious robed figure, which could be Tally's, especially since the church had the robe and was now being asked to restore one who could wear it. Mission and her god, Monitor, did restore Tally's, except now he still bears the markings of Oriel. So now our party faces a decision on what to do next. Do they seek out Garn the Smith in the Dwarven Valley? Do they seek out the creator of the Shardland Dragon and take revenge for the destruction of Black Iron Blades, assuming that's who it was? Do they abandon their current patron, Valin Harpel, or go back with her in search of the Codicil of White, which the party secretly already has, and Tally's has copied? And or do they confess to Valin that they have the book and go in search of the Nethery city? And where do they find the location of the priest's vision of Cairo? So we rejoin our party the morning after Tally's restoration. Azatoth and Andwise are waking at the Ascendant with Valin and her kobolds. Cairo, Landar, Pip, and Tally's are at the House of the Morning Lord. So let's start with Andwise and Azatoth at the Ascendant. Good morning. What are you going to do today?
Is it like that?
I'm gonna start by spending an hour reassembling my monkey I lost last time.
Hey Taryn, thanks for 40 months, man. Number one sub, I'm pretty
Okay.
sure. That's a long ass time. Thank you for the continued support, man. You
Azatoth, well, you're muted.
mean a lot. I know. I was talking to the stream.
Oh, okay.
Azatoth, well, all options would be irrelevant to Azatoth because he only has one thing on his mind. He wants revenge. We had a deal with the blacksmith. I was excited about claiming what was ours, and I am very upset that that has been taken from me. So if anybody asks Azatoth, I want to go and recover our pilfered Shardland.
So what are you going to do right now towards that? It is morning, and you hear some noises, so Valin is probably up. The kobolds are sort of anxiously hovering around her door, sort of a little fearful of what mood she's going to be in this morning. I know they should be fearful of what mood you're in this morning, but even after this time, they don't know you as well as they know her.
Tally's isn't with us, so there's no point in for me at least talking to her yet. But
Okay.
I've been to the church before, right? Because I remember I was
Yes.
having words with the priest. So I'm just gonna kind
Yes.
of smack uh smack Andwise on the shoulder. Hey, let's go collect the rest of our group.
All right.
Okay. So you're gonna head down to the church. Let's head back to the chapel map. Oops, it helps if I actually move the player tag. All right, so at the church, morning has come. Tali spent the night copying the codicil.
I think Lindar's
Yeah.
gonna wake and probably ask Tallies if he was able to complete what he was aiming to do with that book.
As a matter of fact, I did. Although it might be an idea to see if maybe we can get Andwise to just make the copy that I made look a little bit more like the original. And then we can give that to Valin. And we can keep the original for ourselves.
But why? I'm not here. Ignore me.
Well, I mean, that should be possible. I don't think she knows what it looks like exactly.
I mean, even if there are descriptions, I think even a basic forgery would probably look close enough like the real thing. You know, given the margin of error for history, and pretty sure that Anwise has got what it takes to make a decent copy. So, especially if we have the original right next to it.
Yeah. Well, let's gather the others and start heading out of here.
Incidentally, Valin doesn't know that we have the book, right?
Correct. As far as, and she has been trying to get you guys to go back. Well, you don't know that because you were dead at the time, but yeah, she's been trying to get the group to go back and to get the book. Yes.
Okay, so I mean, what we could always do is say that I actually found the book and I put it into my pack before I was turned into ice. And because it was in my pack and all of my belongings were frozen along with me, there was no way to know that it was there. And until I was restored, there was no way to get at it. So now that I'm restored, we know that we have it. We don't have to go back, and then we can just hand her off the coffee.
I like it.
I think such knowledge is a little too dangerous to be entrusted with the hands of those amateurs in the Arcane Brotherhood. Should belong in a real established institute like Candlekeep.
Well, do you think that maybe for the copy that we give her, that we might sabotage it a little bit? Make sure that
Already-
it's not fully usable?
Already taken care of, my friend. I've made some very subtle changes that are in line with everything that's in there, just changed just enough to not quite be the same.
Which parts did you change?
Sorry, do I have a list of everything that's actually written in the book?
There's a handout for the codicil in our journal.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it was the ritual part, right? The devastating ice ritual, right?
That would be the one.
Yep.
That would be the part that is subtly different. So yeah, the part that's the ritual part is
describes
just
various priestly rituals and ceremonies in chilling detail.
Where is there? Appendix D. Magic books. Codicil the White.
Okay, and I will, since Tallis has now read it, I will move.
Where's one?
I'll move the description, or the description of the contents up into the main thing.
I thought you
And
had told us that there was
I
like
did tell you.
a
I did tell
ritual of
you.
like great power, and there was a spell book that he promptly
Mhm.
started copying. Yeah.
The copy for Valin has subtle changes to the ritual details. All right, let me hit save changes. Okay, so if you refresh it now, you'll see I copied that section that I was reading last time. Now that Tallis has read it, I copied that up into the actual handout.
Okay.
Oh, oops. Let me remove that.
So we're not supposed to go clicking those links, huh?
Well, one of the links won't. One of the links wouldn't open. Well, it would open for you.
we
but
saw
it wouldn't
nothing.
open for the others. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. Yeah. So one of them wouldn't open for most of the players. The poem, I think I read off to you, and I even shared the poem to you. So
Yeah.
the poem you would. So the links that you can see here to the Rime of the Frostmaiden and to the spell should both. It's okay that you can use those. All right.
Okay. So yeah, in the poem then, I guess I would edit the just the wording just ever so slightly, so that it still means exactly the same thing as it did before. It's just that this specific wording is slightly different. And the same with the essential like sort of spellbook version of Frostfingers, and the
Okay.
yeah, that'll be it. So that the rituals just really slight changes that are things that mean exactly the same thing but are different words that are used
Altered.
that could
So
maybe be
she
used to
can't
mean
get in
something else.
without you. Yeah. So she can't get into it without
Yeah,
you.
but she
All right.
might not necessarily know that
Mhm.
anything's different, especially if we can get Anwise to make a copy that looks close enough like the original to be able to fool somebody who's never seen the original.
Okay.
Well, then before we really connect with Endwise and everything, we might have to send one of us ahead to come back to you to have him come back. Otherwise, Valence might be right there up our noses as soon as she sees you.
It's a good idea, and I'm sure. I'm sure that's going to be the best way around it.
All right, so
Okay.
I guess we'll get Pep and Cairo up, moving around, and one or two of us can run ahead and get Endwise and send him back to do all those.
The other option is, let's see. I could always give you the original. You can take it to Anwise along with the rest of the supplies that I have here, and help him make the forgery there. And we'll just say that sort of I'm here. Oh no, we need I need to have the forgery on me, I guess. So he would have to come back here, I guess. So I'll just say that I'm a little indisposed. I'm still recovering. Anwise can come in and see me and make the copy, and then we'll just kind of switch them out.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
Okay. Cairo or Pip?
Well, I would just be getting up and trying to get a move on. Same.
Okay. So who's heading out to try and to head back to Ascendant and get Andwise?
Well, Landar can move the fastest, I'm sure. So he's probably going to take off to get there and back as quickly as possible.
Okay. Landar, you head out. As you get down the stairs, you see the priest Mission. She says, "Oh, I was just coming up to get you. There's breakfast in the refectory over here."
Oh, thank you. I will have to take mine. I'll have to eat mine when I get back. I have to make a quick run, but I'm sure the others will probably eat.
Ah, okay. Oh, and you're on your way out now. I'll go up and tell them then.
All right. And I pass her and start heading out the door to make my way to the Descendant.
And you are you're nearing Market Square when you see Azathoth and Andwise in the street headed your direction toward you.
Is Valen with them at all?
I don't think so. They tried to sneak out without her, I think. Unless you have her in tow, Azathoth or Andwise?
Nope. She stays in the cargo hold.
The ship has explicit instructions that her and her crew are not to leave that cargo hold. They'll be picking her up if she does. She steps out for fresh air, the tentacle will push her back in.
Awesome. All right, so I will link up with them and explain to Andwise and Azathoth the plan for providing a fake copy to Valen. The copy's ready in terms of the writing, but we're looking to potentially get the book itself to look more like the original. And Andwise Talis has asked for your assistance in doing so. So if you could head back there with me, we can try and get that done before we meet back up with Valen.
Wait, I may not
Okay.
be the most intelligent person, but is there a point to making the copy look like the original if they've never seen the original to know what it looks like?
I guess mostly just to ensure that there's no historical record of what it is supposed to look like. Because if she has any type of historical knowledge, then we might be screwed.
I say we just rip the cover off. Oops, it got lost over time. And then we hand it to them, and they either take what we are offering, which is a reasonable facsimile of this thing they've been after, or they buzz off. Either way, it works for us. We have to go and find the person who robbed us. So we have other things to turn our attentions to.
Well, I do agree with trying to find out what happened to the blacksmith. However,
Yeah,
there is still
if there's
a hot
Netheril
meal.
ruins somewhere, they'll still be there after we're done. So
Right. Well, but there is a hot meal set at the House of the Morning Lord if you'd like to come eat.
I don't know. I might just wait outside because churches give me the heebie-jeebies.
You're gonna have to wait outside for at least an hour and a half or so, if not more.
I mean, it's not like I eat food anyway. It's fine.
All right, Landar, lead the way. I'm then going to tell my monkey to guide me while I'm concentrating on the right tool for the job. I'm making a forgery kit while my monkey's guiding me. I figure a nice leisurely stroll counts as a short rest. I only need an hour to make it.
I know that Azathoth has seen the real one because he had his hands on it.
Yeah.
Andwise, did you see it at all? Did you get a glance at the cover?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I'm the one that swiped it from Tally's after he got turned to.
Oh, yes. You had it in your possession for
Yeah,
some
he was
time.
carrying it.
Yes, absolutely.
And I pawned it off to him.
So, thinking about, do you want to spend the time making a forgery kit, or thinking about it, you're probably going to want to get some white fur if you're going to make a facsimile. Other things
What
that
does a
are needed
forgery
for
kit
it.
have in it? I guess inks?
Inks, pens, things to make things look old.
You want a disguise kit, is what I'm hearing. That would have
things to
cloth and
distress
fur
materials.
and.
I was saying forgery because I have to make it look like the original, or as close to it as I can get.
Literally, forgery kit would be the correct thing. It's
Yeah.
just it doesn't have fur in it.
Yeah, and you don't know about the I've forgotten what he is.
I mean, we could just assume that the forgery kit that he's making is specific to the item that he's attempting to forge, considering he knows what it looks like. So he'll know exactly the type of items that he'll need to be able to make a facsimile of the.
Yeah.
Yeah. How does the artificer ability work? Is it like you physically create them, or are you like magicking them up out of nowhere?
I am magically creating a real set. It's a non-magical set, but I'm basically magically creating the appropriate set.
That's what I'm saying, though, right? Like if you were physically creating it, you would need like fur and scraps and shit, and you would tinker and make it together. But you're not. You're just kind of pointing and you're going zap, and then it appears, and you're like, ha. You know what I mean? So
Well, that's for the forgery kit. We have to make it look believable, which means the book is old. The pages have to look aged. They can't look like brand new pages. I have to basically do the entire book.
I mean, we are in Market Square, so it's not like we want to be able to see somebody open with the fur someplace, or the necessary components.
Yeah, I mean, because I know what the gnome has available in his workshop, but you wouldn't have any way of knowing that because I don't think you met him. And even if you did, you wouldn't know he had a workshop. Only Tally's is the one who would know that.
Wait. I had an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Don't we have winter clothing?
Mm-hmm.
And isn't its description specifically that it is fur?
That's true. I have winter clothing that I don't need anymore.
So we could take some of the fur and use the forgery kit to paint it white? Maybe?
We don't have to paint it white. Think about it. Pip is bright, cheery, happy. Do you think he's going to wear gray or white? I'll just tear his stuff apart.
Well, to be fair, I think he would wear whatever color fur the store had when we bought winter clothes. I don't think anybody said, well, yes, I would like winter clothing, but only in black if you must.
Hot pink. Hot pink, yes.
Actually, I would like to specify when we did buy our gear, I was asking for light blues. Okay.
Oh, mm-hmm.
And
I would absolutely like my jacket to be made of nuclear yellow.
Yeah.
Yes, and also, rest her soul, liked you so much. Of course, if you wanted hot pink, she would find you hot pink.
Alice, this is a good idea. Then we don't get lost in Blizzard.
Light blue, hot pink, whatever.
We're gonna get a fur. It's gonna be the wrong shade of white.
Here, and I'm just gonna
Okay.
tear off my belt buckle. It's like a little skull shape. It's like you could use it for the thing, and I point to the book where it's got like a little animal head as a clasp. Just slap it on there, it'll be fine.
Okay, so you have, well, and you've got some of those scrimshaw buttons that you got from in animal shapes that you got from the furniture makers.
Yeah, from the something a long time ago.
But in any case, okay, so you're walking back. So this morning you recreated your homunculus. You're walking back, you're thinking and making the plans for creating the forgery kit and forging the codicil of white. Okay,
Correct.
so you get back. Meanwhile, Mission has come up to the guest rooms and has sort of knocked gently and said, "Good morning."
I have before you do that, just real quick, since they're all going in to eat and Azathoth didn't want to go into the church, I'm gonna walk back to the ship and I would tell Villain that, hey, good news! Our friend was unthawed and he has the book. He's a little sick, so they're gonna feed him, and then he's coming here with your book. So whenever you would decide, I
Book?
actually make it to the ship and relay that message.
Where did he get the book? Where was it?
Well, that's why he was frozen. Apparently, it was cursed.
So it was in the Frost Giant Queen's things rather than in with the followers of Ariel's things. That seems very odd.
I don't
You're
know,
sure it's
right?
the right book?
It's got fur on it. Says Codicil of the White on the title page. I don't know.
Give me a persuasion.
Ah, cool. I'm really good at those, but I always fail. So
Hey, do you wanna go ahead and take an inspiration?
I mean, if you want to give it to me, why not?
Yeah.
Either that or this might be the time for the DM's nat one.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
Ooh,
say.
15.
Oh!
Yikes.
I think you used inspiration.
See, like I said, I got +5 to the roll, and I always fail.
Yeah, it would have been a nat one. That would have sucked.
It's almost like I called it.
And so she looks at you kind of suspiciously, but you look back at her very earnestly, and she I don't understand this. But you say he has the book. Let's go see it. Let's go see it right now. We can go see him right now. What? What?
Hold. He's very sick. I'm not gonna tell
What do
you
mean
where.
he's very sick?
Well-
If they could bring him back from the dead, couldn't they make him not be sick?
I don't think it works that way, lady. But he's gonna rest, which is what's most important to me as his comrade. So I'm not gonna tell you where he's resting, but after he's done, he's coming here with your book to present it to you. So in the meantime, you're just gonna sit your keys down in the cargo hold and wait.
And then we're going out to the glacier, right?
Whatever, yeah. We'll see.
What do you mean by we'll see?
I mean, like right now, I'll be honest, I'm feeling kind of woozy and I'm not really thinking very hard about it. But once they get here, we'll sort it all out. And you'll pay us, right?
You still owe me some of the time that we were traveling and I didn't want to be.
No. That's not gonna work out the way you want it to. I mean, no. I mean, what, you're gonna make me? I mean, that's highly unlikely.
Just might. I haven't shown you all of my powers just yet.
Oh yeah. It'll be all right. You just take a knee, all right? You'll be fine.
I suppose. Okay, so while they're quarreling, or at least while she's quarreling and he is not quarreling with her, all right. So Mission was knocking on the guest doors. I have breakfast ready down in the refectory.
Oh, that's fantastic. I could actually really go for a good meal right now.
All right. Okay. And so you guys get down. You're about halfway through your meal when Landar and Andwise enter. And
Ah,
Mission, is she's bustling out again, and she sees you. Oh, good, you're back. Where's your large friend? Is he coming to breakfast too?
No, he had some other things to take care of.
All right, all right. Let me know if you need anything. There's the porridge, and I do have some cream for the porridge. Um, I'm pretty sure you don't want any fish with that. Although if you want, I'd be happy to grill some up.
Yes, indeed. I would love some.
I shall get that right up for you then. I never did make a street map. All right. Andwise, do you eat or do you go directly to your making your tools and making the? Well, I should let the two of you talk about what you're doing there.
yeah. As Anwise comes in, I just kind of tap my head as I look at him.
Yes.
So I have the book. If you can go ahead and make a forgery. Another thing I can do is to help is obviously all of the scribing is actually done. Anything that needs specifically writing or coloring any differently, I can use my quill, which can write on any surface in any color that I choose, so I can make it look exactly how it needs to, which might, somehow aid you.
All right. First thing I'm gonna need to do is look at the original versus your copy, so I can age the pages to make them look. Because I mean, it's not a brand new book; it's an old
Okay.
book. The pages are gonna look aged. We got to start there, and then we got to get that cover done.
The description even specifies that it looks well worn from use.
Okay. After we've eaten, we can head back to my room. I'll hand you the book, and we'll work. I'll just feign that I'm a little a little tired and could just use a little bit of a pick me up before we head out. And then you can take the original. Do you have any way you can hide it? I'm sure you probably be a lot better at hiding it than I would.
Yeah, I think I can handle hiding the original.
Okay. And then I'll keep um, the copy on me. The story that I'm going to go with is that I actually had the original in my bag, but when I was frozen, obviously all of my belongings were frozen as well, and so um, yeah, there was no way for you to know that it was there.
That works. Let's go eat quick so we can get this done. I don't know how
Okay.
long Azathoth can keep Villain happy.
Yep, we'll get on it. I'll kind of wolf down the rest of breakfast and say, "Oh, I could really use just another bit of time, and I kind of need to just kind of get to grips of what's gone on since my ordeal with Anwise here. So yeah, just please, if anybody comes to me, just please ask them to wait. I'm still collecting myself after what's gone on.
Oh, certainly. Do you need any sort of healing potions? I can come do some curing or.
Oh no, I'm not injured. I think I just need to try and make sense of everything. I mean, being
I
petrified is a bit of a strange experience. It's not anything that
I'm
I've encountered the
sure.
like of before. So, just once I kind of get my head around that and
Okay.
just kind of really sort of ground myself. Anwise is really good at helping me keep grounded. So,
Excellent. And
he's the
I'm
best
of
person.
course here if you need counseling services as well. That is
I
mostly
appreciate
what
it.
I've been doing here in Brinchander.
We appreciate
Well,
the offer. We will keep that in mind. Tallis,
Okay.
your room. Let's go
hmm,
get you rested.
just
And
this
as
way,
you
yeah.
go up and as you go upstairs in the hallway, just before you enter in your room, you hear sort of a sound and you look over and I've forgotten his name. The gnome. You needing anything else?
Anyways, you got everything?
Yep, I think we're good. I think we just got to get you to like sit down and rest. We don't want you overdoing it. I mean, we did just get you back. We don't want you to like overexert yourself.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. We're all good for now. But if we need anything else, I'll let you know.
Good, good. And he scuttles back towards his workshop. All right. Okay, so you guys take some time for there. Down in the refectory.
I'm
Lenda,
going to
Pip,
close the
Kyra?
door and lock it from the inside so nobody can get it open. I don't want to be interrupted trying to do this.
Okay. That'll be a bit startling since these doors don't have locks, but it will be effective nonetheless. Okay. Okay. All right. So, Cairo, Pip, Landar, you guys are having a nice breakfast. Are you doing any chit chat?
Not really. Cairo is too busy enjoying the fish.
Excellent. She uses a lighter hand with the seasonings than many of the inns and taverns you've been at recently. It's a bit refreshing, actually, to have someone that isn't tired of fish and trying to dress it up somehow. It's just fish. All right. So the morning goes on. Give me a skill check, Andwise.
I would like to give
Alright,
Andways
which
my
skill check
inspiration.
would you like?
Wait,
Let's...
I would like to give Andways my inspiration.
Well, I would have thought that if I'm helping him with the quill and he's already got a copy to work from, like would he already have advantage?
I think so. Yeah.
Then I won't. But I thought of it.
Excellent. So, Andwise, let's do your forgery kit with...
I'm thinking
Wisdom.
that would be a sleight of hand, wouldn't it?
Well, forgery is its own thing. If do you have proficiency in any intelligence-based skills? Because you could always use that as a proxy.
That's true. Actually, just use your forgery kit with intelligence. Because you're proficient with the forgery kit.
Wow.
Well, I mean, it's above average. So you come up with something that after a while of working on it, you've got something that looks kind of worn. You've got the rattiness done. The clasp is a little off, but it's plausible maybe that the clasp has been replaced over the years. Yeah.
Well, the clasp would be a separate project in itself with my tinkerer's tools.
Okay, I'll allow that.
What role do you want for that?
That one I think would be, that one could be dex based. Yeah. Doing great. The clasp sells the whole work, actually. The clasp is really, really good. Okay. So by midday, by midday, that's pretty well complete.
Okay, so I'll hand the original to Andwise. I'll keep the copy on myself, and we'll head out.
And I immediately tuck the original and make it disappear.
Anyways, if you can just pass the the story going forward to everybody else, just let everybody know. So I had it on me, but it was in my bag, just so that they don't necessarily say anything that contradicts the story, in case she asks.
Understood.
Okay. So, Azathoth,
Yeah.
Valen has been driving you crazy. She is pestering you, wanting more information. And don't you think it's been long enough? Don't you think we should... I can't do the voice. Don't you think we should go and get them now? I mean, surely it's been long enough, or we could find some more healing for them, or she has been nattering at you non-stop, and you could use a break. And Sopo has been there with such helpful advice. You know, I think if you just sort of hit her on the head, it might work. You know, you could just sort of make her unconscious.
I'm sure that it would. But instead, I'm just gonna, okay, all right, fine. I'll get the ship moving. I'll take you to him. All right, but you're gonna stay here in the cargo hold. Again, I need to concentrate. You can't disturb me because it's hard enough to get this thing to move already. All right, but I'll take you to him.
Okay. Oh, so what are you going to do?
Oh, I'm just gonna go sit in the driving chair and sleep. I mean, that's where I'm not actually taking her anywhere.
All right. All right. So then, okay. So the rest of the party then is walking back towards the gym lair. Azathoth and Sopo. Okay, so the rest of you are walking together from the House of the Morning
Hey,
Lord?
Assassin. Thanks for
Yeah,
the
I
biddies,
believe
buddy.
so.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Are you wearing your new
I think
robes?
for
Tully?
$10 you get to give
Yes,
someone
Tully's will be
nat
wearing his new robe.
20? If only I knew my own stream and
And
how
so
it
as
works.
you all are gathering to leave, Mission comes up to you and offers you her blessings and asks for your blessings and you know, notes to Cairo. You're going to come back and tell me about it, right?
Let's see here.
Cairo?
Yes. For
Certainly.
1,000 bits, you can give
Excellent,
a
excellent.
random item
Blessings on you,
of
Amanatar, be
F,
with you on your travels here.
or
And
you can
as you
give
head down the road,
3 nat 20s or nat 1s. Your choice.
all right, I am going to move you to... So, actually, I'm not quite yet. As you go down the road, you're walking along, there is some traffic going out, and suddenly you hear a couple of screams over on the side. And shambling out into the street is an awkward-looking creature that is just coming at you, and it is squawking, and it looks disoriented, and it looks like it's lunging around and screeching and all. And so I am going to move you to... Well, no, I'm not going to move you yet. I'm going to change the music is what I'm going to do.
G. None of.
So what are you going to do about this? As it comes
Parry up the
lurching
proof
up
against
towards
poison.
So what does the creature look like?
you. Hunched over, and it's got a beak, and it's squawking at you, and it's walking disoriented, and it doesn't like all the people around it, and it sort of lunges at them and hisses and it's scattering the poor civilians around it. Did you guys see the pop-up that I sent you?
No.
Did not see a pop-up. I'm gonna cast Mage Hand and draw my
Let me
weapon.
move you to this map. Then we shall pretend that this is a city street.
Oh, I'm pretending.
Now let's do the pop-up again. How's that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
It's an Agpa.
Again. Okay, so what are you guys doing? as this thing comes and hisses and lunges, and then it's lunging at, and it starts lunging towards you. Okay, and Cairo goes into a battle stance. Excellent. I've got initiative here somewhere. There's initiative. All right, do we have everybody? Cairo, Andwise, Pip, Landar,
Yep.
Tallies.
Tallies will
Alright.
just kind of call out, is everything okay?
Yeah.
You don't need help, do you?
It starts lunging towards you with and just a wave of an icky feeling just comes pouring at you. And it went it to GM. How do I do it to not GM? Let me switch where I'm doing it from. Okay, if I do it from here. There we go. All right, so just a wave of ickiness comes, and I need wisdom saves from everybody.
Everybody?
Not you. Everybody who's on the street.
Okay.
Actually, is your spectral mind with you, Tallies?
I mean, if I was able to summon it, I definitely would have. So it'll be with me, but it doesn't make saves because it's not a creature.
Right,
So.
right. I was
How
just checking
far
which
away
one.
are they from the ship?
So they are oh, that's the homunculus. Okay. I would say that you heard some screams in the distance from the ship. All right.
I'm gonna use inspiration on mine.
Okay. So
Paladin Aura,
everyone.
if they're next
So-
to Cairo, Pip and Landar would pass.
What's his Cairo, what's your bonus
+3?
currently?
I think so.
Okay. So Pip and Cairo are not paralyzed, and everyone else is. And this thing, so it does that, and it looks at, and a bunch of and there are several civilians standing around too, and they're also petrified in fear as they don't feel it's closer. I haven't done
Yeah, I
the
was gonna
scale
say it's
because this is I did a wide open snowy terrain, and it's like I'm trying to do a close in thing, and it's coming lurching up towards you. Azathoth, if you follow up on the sounds and follow it, I'll have you come in on round 3.
Okay.
Okay. So that is its bonus action, and it is coming staggering up, and it looks like it's going to start to wield its staff at you, and it actually is going to wield its staff at Landar. Now, who were the two that passed? It was Pip and
Landar.
Pip
Yep.
and Landar. Okay, so Pip and Landar. All right, so it comes up and it strikes at you, and I've got to find where I put all this stuff. Nope, that's the turn order. Yep, there's the sheet. So it strikes at you. Will a 24 hit you?
Yep.
All right. And you take damage as it is staggering, and it looks somewhat disoriented. All right, let's go to Andwise is paralyzed. Landar,
He
End of my
gets-
turn, I get to re-roll.
you do get to reroll. Thank you.
Need a 17 or better. Because +3 with Paladin Aura.
Okay.
Look at that.
Also, at the same time, my construct
Is
is
immune.
gonna do this.
Ca-
He's gonna miss,
if
but
it
he's gonna take
constructs are immune.
Yeah, they would be.
the shot. Yeah, he did force strike.
Okay.
Yeah, if I'm incapacitated, he can take whatever action he feels is the appropriate one. I don't have to
Okay.
give him a command.
All right. So Landar.
All right, Landar is gonna move out over here next to him, and he's gonna get a whole bunch of punches.
Okay. The first one will miss.
All right, and
As
then
it sort of just leans, it seems to lean to the side.
that way he's a key point to do flurry of blows.
Okay. And is that all of them or one more?
And one more since I used a key point. I get to do
Yeah.
another last one.
And you are doing this all, and it seems to have no effect. You're sure a couple of them seem to have landed somewhere in the fluff of the thing, but it just sort of pisses at you, and it seems to have no effect.
Okay,
Anything
That's-
else?
that is all.
Pip.
I am going to give Tally's inspiration to help him out. And then I'm going to stand behind him and cast Toll the Dead at the thing.
Okay.
And
That's a wisdom save.
is he missing any hit points? I don't think so.
He hasn't been hit.
He's not.
Okay. Yeah.
Ooh,
Ah.
and it fails and takes it.
And I'll back up a little more, and that's it.
As this wave of necrotic energy flows from you and seems to take it up short, and it almost stands up straight, looking over towards you. Tullies, you may repeat your save.
Okay.
You're bardic. Oh.
Yeah, it's not going to help
Use
there.
your-
Yeah, it won't, because
Wait, what's your bardic bonus? Is it
It's-
D8 now?
It's a D8. Yeah.
Oh, I might actually pass
It
with
might. If 7 or 8.
yeah.
No.
Damn. I get 18.
Well,
You don't lose
just
it.
because you failed, you don't lose it. You still get to keep it.
Nice. Look at that.
Okay. Cairo, you may repeat your save. Or not. Okay. Back around to the creature as it is hissing and it turns and looks at all of you and sends out a and it sends out, you see sort of a black sphere appearing at the back of the group, and a sphere of negative energy just ripples out from that point. Do we have a... Let me go ahead and cast the thing. Comes out from back behind you, and so it washes out over some of the civilians and everybody in range except Landar. Landar is not in range of it. So this is it's a saving throw, isn't it? Yeah, Constitution saving throw.
Upon
Oh, it
save.
didn't show that.
First. Okay.
Is the paralysis a magical effect? The paralysis... No, I don't think it is.
Okay, no worries. The Circle of
Because
Death is a spell, right?
undead and construct immune.
Circle of Death is a spell,
Undead
right?
and construct immune.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
This
I
is definitely a spell.
I have advantage against spells and magical effects.
'Kay.
'cause,
This is
magic
a
resistance.
con save DC 20. Ooh.
Oh,
Holly's passes. Pip does not. And Wise and Cairo do not. So if you pass, you take. If you pass, you take half the 27, so that would be 13. And it didn't repeat. Okay. And is it bonus action? Oh, I get to. No. And it looks over and it targets and it looks at with an evil eye at a civilian in the distance. And that person suddenly relaxes and seems to become more amenable. This is one that had passed before. All right, Endwise.
All right, move up to there. Cantrip. We're gonna go with Booming Blade.
Okay.
If I can. Well, I'm trying to remember how I got this to work before. And it didn't do the roll, didn't do the attack. Oh, wait a minute, that's on the spell page. Okay. Well, there's the weapon attack.
Okay, and that will slash by, and it just seems like you can't hit this thing.
Landar, you're within 60 feet. You can use your reaction to make an attack.
I'm doing it.
Again, our mighty monk has not succeeded. It's very strange to see his fists and feet going flying without connecting.
And then I'm going to continue moving to over there.
Okay. And it does not get an opportunity attack, correct?
Correct, because of mobility.
Right.
Alright, that finishes my turn, which means the homunculus. There! Finally hit it!
Oh, it connects! All right. And it takes the damage. Oops, did I actually get it? It didn't actually do. Let's try that again. There we go. All right. And it connects, and you can sort of see the thud as it actually connected. So you know this thing can possibly be hit. Let's see, and it only gets the one strike. Landar.
Okay, we're going to try this again. Did this one hit?
That is a miss. I'm pretty sure. Yes, that is a miss. That hits. That hits
Okay.
solidly.
All right, then I am going to use a key point for stunning strike.
Okay, and it has to do which save? Con?
Con save, DC 13.
Should we?
Ooh, and it failed. So it is stunned for the one round
Until the end of my next turn, yes.
till the end of your next turn. All right.
Well, so
Stunned.
And
All
use the
right.
max-
all right, then since I used a key point, I am going to do another attack.
You should be at advantage because it was stunned. Nope, that one is a
Nope.
miss.
All right, and then bonus action, I'll be using another key point to flurry of blows.
Okay, remember you have advantage. There we go. That one's a miss.
All right, and that's it.
All right. Hip.
I am just going to cast Toll of the Dead on it again.
All right.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
And
you
it
take
has
that 6.
Okay. You guys are
And
starting to chip away at it.
I will cast as a bonus action Healing Word on Andwise.
Okay.
Just gotta find it.
Hollies.
Never mind.
You still
Azathoth,
could.
you're outside of the ship, and you can tell the direction that you are heading towards. You are hearing a definite ruckus and some sounds of combat.
Can I see them?
Oh, that's a good shout, actually. Yeah, if I roll if I roll an 8, I would actually pass. So I'll go ahead and try.
Okay.
All right, never mind.
Okay. Well,
Worth a
you know,
shot.
it's worth trying. Can you see them? I think you can see in the distance where it is. You can see where they are and where the ruckus is, and you're close enough to tell that your people are involved in it.
How far away are they then?
You're going to be about maybe 100 feet still.
That's it?
I guess that's pretty close, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, you're close enough to see what's going on.
All right.
Okay.
Then
You're off a ways, but you're coming up.
no, I'm not. We're going to Dimension Door. So now we're
All
right
right.
next to it.
You are right next to the thing. Okay.
Shield position.
Excellent.
And then that's action. Bonus action. We will
Actually, it's stunned, so it's not hissing at you.
we'll transform. I don't know if it's immune to fear or not, but oh, never mind. That's when I hit it. Okay, I'm done.
All right. Pyro, you may repeat your save. Okay, that is because you don't. Well, and that would be a failure anyway. You don't benefit from your own aura.
Yes, he does. It's
He
included
does
in the
benefit from his own aura.
It's in his save.
Okay.
Because if you look, he
Okay.
rolled +8.
Okay. The creature is stunned. Handwise.
All right, we're gonna start taking some shots here. One from me.
Oh, actually, yeah. Okay. That is a miss. Pity with all that damage.
All right, that'll finish my turn, and the Homunculus. At least
Yeah.
my little toy's hitting it.
Your little toy is hitting it. Yeah. It darts in and gives it a punch and darts out and darts in and gives it a punch. All right. Landar.
Well, you kind of know my plan at this point. And it's still stunned because it's at the end of my turn, so advantage
Yep.
here.
I'm going to take the token off, but it is still stunned. All right, that's a good hit.
All right, and stunning strike again.
I might have to put it right back on. It's con save again.
Yep.
DC?
13.
Okay, so it is not stunned this time, and it sort of shakes it off, and it hisses at you as it looks like it's about to strike. Anything else on your turn?
It's a key point, so I'm going to use another attack here. And it still would be stunned currently because it's still not the end of my turn,
Still
right?
stunned. Yes, actually that is true. It is still stunned because it's not the end of your turn yet. That will hit.
All right, then I want to try the stunning strike again.
Okay. And it resists that. It's flaming mad at this point.
All right, well then, final bonus action, just a simple unarmed strike.
Okay. Oh, yes, there we go.
All right, I want to do the stunning strike one last time. Hopefully this one connects.
Wait, not that. Con. Hit the right thing here. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Okay.
All right.
It is re-stunned.
So
Alright,
when a creature is stunned, don't melee attacks auto crit?
No.
No,
He's-
it's when it's paralyzed it does, but when it's stunned it doesn't.
Oh, damn it.
Yep.
Ah, so close.
Oh, you got a crit on the end there. All right, and
Yep.
it is re-stunned.
Yep, and that's all I got.
Okay. Pip.
Okay. I am going to. Should I give Tally's guidance so he can pass his stupid save?
So
Yeah.
guidance is only ability checks. It's not
Oh,
saving
yeah.
throws.
Yeah, you're right. Anyways, I'm going to Toll the Dead. The only thing hurting us.
And it's going to take it.
And then I will. Can you healing word yourself, or does it have to be?
You can healing word yourself.
You can healing word yourself.
I will healing word myself.
Ooh, nice. Are
Yeah,
you going
no.
to move?
No, I'm fine where I am.
Okay. Come on, Tallies.
Oh,
Yeah.
I need to roll a 1, so it's I'm gonna use the inspiration, so it's gonna be an auto pass.
You're supposed to use dice before you roll.
What for the bardic inspiration?
Oh no, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Bardic specifically lets you look at it first.
Doesn't
Yep.
the aura put him over anyways?
Well, the
No.
aura put me to
Aura-
19, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
the bardic inspiration puts me on 20, which is the DC, even if I
Yep.
rolled a 1.
Okay,
Fine.
Azatoth. It's like, yay! Tallies passed his save.
So it's currently stunned.
It is currently
Yes.
stunned. You have advantage on it.
Yes. Yes. I did not want to roll just the damage. Let's try that again.
There we go.
hit.
Yeah. Give me some damage.
We're
That's a
gonna
nice
glaze
hit.
it. And
Okay.
we're gonna blood fury hit 2.
So
and-
is that additional damage on it?
Yes.
Okay, I was just making sure. What is that? 20. Okay, so that's additional
necrotic.
damage. Okay.
I don't know if it matters.
Okay.
So that's attack. Oh no, wait! I did necrotic damage, and I'm currently transformed. So that means that they get to take one more D10. Oh shit! Wait. Yeah. All right. So that's attack number 1. Attack number 2.
Nice.
I'm guessing we'll miss,
Miss.
and then we'll ham attack, and also miss. Jeez.
Hmm.
That's
That you got a really good. You got a good hit in there before. Are you going to move?
no.
All right. Cairo, come on, buddy. You can do it. Repeat your save. Yes. okay. Next time you'll be able to do stuff. So the only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So nobody. So everybody's up. I can stop tracking that. Everybody's up. All right. The critter is stunned and wise.
All right, let's do the double shot again. One from me, one from the homunculus.
That will hit. It's 21. Get a nice radiant shot in that lights up its. It doesn't have feathers exactly, but that is a miss. The homunculus was so surprised that your shot hit it that it slipped a little bit and it missed. And hit the robes of the thing instead of itself. Any movement or anything else handwise?
No.
Landar.
All right. And for this turn, I am actually going to cast a spell.
Okay. That's a hit. 16 necrotic. Okay. And you reach out to it and sores and things and start creeping over the thing as flesh starts coming off of it in the spot that you touched it.
All right. And then at that point, I am backing up just a little bit.
Okay. Pip.
Just going to castle the dead.
And that is wisdom. And it fails. It keeps failing your tolls.
Good. And I'll back up.
You've
and that's it.
got its number. He's no longer stunned. Thank you. Clear all conditions. All right. And so Pip moved. Tallies!
Okay. So I'm going to use my bonus action. It's not my bonus action. I'm going to use my spell gem to drop a web on his head. I can angle it so it doesn't hit him.
Is it a dex save or a strength
It
save?
is a dex save to begin with.
Go ahead and do your cast. All right, so you get, and it goes over there. Dex saving throw. So it is not restrained on it. Okay, so what happens with the web if it doesn't actually catch
So
it?
the area is difficult terrain.
Area is difficult terrain. All right.
However, each creature that starts its turn in the webs or enters them during
Has
its
to
turn has to make
re-roll.
a save. Yeah. Or be
Okay.
restrained.
Excellent. Oh, love that graphic. Let me move that to the map layer for us so we don't... Ah! Hang on. There we go. All right.
That's
Anything
cool.
else, Tullies?
Yeah, I'm gonna have my my little spooky guy just float up to this thing right here and be
Right
like,
in its face.
eh?
It's been hissing at people.
Yeah, actually, it's gonna be here. It's gonna start floating around and just trying to distract it, I guess.
Taunted? All right.
Yeah, it can't really do anything.
Right. Azatoth.
13 and 12 miss.
They miss.
And then bonus action.
Oh, solid hit. So you're waving it around to distract it, then really just wham at it with the back of it. Give
I
me some
will
damage.
replace the damage with necrotic
Okay.
because I am transformed. If he survives, he'll make a save versus fear. If he
Okay.
survives. So there's that.
So
There's
that's
that.
10, 24.
Hold on. And then there's going to be 2d10 and another. Let's just.
He can't possibly survive if you've got 2d10 and plus beyond that. So,
There's 16. Yeah.
all right. And calm falls.
I'll drop the concentration on the web.
Okay.
And I'll use a second level spell to cast it into my spell gem again.
All right. I'm going to move us back to Bryn Shander. And I'm going to get rid of this turn tracker. All right.
Well, that was
So-
a nice fight. So what happened, everyone?
So the party is actually right there. There we go.
Can't even begin to say what the creature was or what it wanted.
Well, you guys
It just
converged
started
on me here.
attacking.
Can we kind of like take a look at this thing? Because I don't think I've seen these kinds of birds, weird looking things in Icewind Dale before.
Yeah, let's take a peek.
Okay, so as you're digging through it,
It's for you to decide.
say that again.
That's for you to decide. You're the DM.
Oh, okay. So as you are sorting through its tatty robes as it goes over it, here's a sort of look at the whole thing besides just the token. As you look at its tatty robes and you look over its staff there, it has amongst its things, surprisingly enough, it has a shield underneath those tatty robes. Maybe that was why it was so hard to hit. And it also has, I don't know how to describe this. What is this? It has over its around its neck, it has kind of a pendant that it is wearing.
I like shinies. I'm just gonna pick it up and shove it in my pocket.
Okay, so you're taking the amulet?
Sure.
Is anyone picking up the shield?
Guess I'll grab it for the time being.
Okay. It's pretty. It's even hot. It's light blue.
Light blue.
It is light blue. Yes. All right.
I'm going to set it on fire with a firebolt as we walk away, just in case it decides to try and get back up again.
Okay. All right. So you've just met up again. Here's Azathoth, who has come to rescue you here.
As it's tough.
Up.
Good to see you again.
Yeah. Lady's really being annoying. Can we give her the book or whatever and get this
Yeah,
done
we're
with?
gonna.
Because she won't shut up. Now she knows you're back.
Yeah, we're gonna hand the book over to her.
I just
So you
stand
all-
under the ascendant waiting for someone to waiting for the tentacles to pick me up.
Okay, so you're returning to the ship and signaling to the ship to lift you?
Yes,
All
indeed.
right. And so the party is back aboard the Id Ascendant. What are we going to do now? It is midday.
So
Whee!
Tally's is gonna head straight to the cargo hold.
Okay, and so it puts you down on the lower deck and you go straight to the side. There you are, and you look just fine. I don't know what all this nonsense was about you being ill. So if you got it, the book?
I do
You
indeed.
can guess who
And
this is.
yep. And yes, I was ill, but a deal's a deal, so there you go. and I'll take the copy out and hand it over to her.
And she
It was
looks
in
at
my
you.
it was
Go ahead.
in my backpack when I was frozen. So the
Where did you find it? How did you find it? You weren't. Well, I guess you were apart from us. But where was it?
it was in the room with the ice statues, with the big block that kept freezing everything. As we were leaving, I noticed something there, and decided to give it a look. Lo and behold, there was the book.
Excellent. Excellent. And she starts flipping through it. Okay. She starts flipping through it, and
So
and is
I
eagerly
don't know if you
Oh.
noticed before, but
Yeah, we discussed this before when we were still at the temple. That check
Uh-huh.
of hers was actually a nat 1.
if she's checking to see if it's genuine, it's even in chat that
It is in
her
chat,
check.
and I know that
Yeah.
I was checking to see if she was going to be suspicious and checking. She is not
Oh, okay.
suspicious and is not checking. So you don't need
All
to
right then.
use the nat 1. All right, so she is flipping through it, looking at, here, let's see here. Oh, good. That's what I wanted. But then she keeps flipping. Here, this is it. And she points to the page that has the poem. I have here somewhere. She's looking at this. This is what we need. This is what we need to go into the glacier. We can head straight to the glacier now from this.
Mind if I take a look? 2 minds are better than 1 after all.
Certainly.
And I'll take the book, and I'll look like I'm carefully reading through the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of audibly mumbling the words as I'm reading through it line by line, one finger like sort of tracing along the lines and everything.
And she's looking over your shoulder and
this
this is the one that we the divination told us. This will open up the glacier so that we can get in then to the Netherese city.
I see.
You can see it clearly here. And we know where, or at least I know where this is. Do you say that out loud?
No, I say that to myself.
Okay.
I'm just looking at the one that you just popped up.
Okay. So yeah, you're critiquing that particular page. All right.
So
what are we waiting for? Let's head out.
Doesn't look too far away, right? Where is it?
Okay, so let me I'm going to assume you've got some sort of a map. I'm moving us to the Icewind Dale map so that I can show us. Oh, no. Sorry. Here we go. All right. So, we are here in Bryn Shander, and the glacier is where is it? It's on the edge of the glacier right about there. It's right about here. Let me put a little mark.
Shifting.
About here.
Okay.
Oh, shift ping, sorry. I don't know what that shift ping was. I didn't do that. But yeah, it is right about there. On the edge of the glacier.
Okay.
So that looks like what? About let's see, from Bryn Shander to there, about, and of course I'm scaled so that I can't actually see.
It was 56.
About 56 miles or so, yeah. So about 55 miles or so off that way, to the northeast. We can go right there now. We can head out now, right?
We gotta stop on the way, though. We've got a contract older than yours that we gotta resolve first.
Stop. What's this stop? Can't it wait?
No.
Well, what's this stop?
Azathoth, would you care to explain?
We got robbed.
What do you mean you got robbed?
You know what robbing is, yeah?
Yes, of course. But what do you
Well-
mean there's been no one here at your ship?
We had a contract with the blacksmith in town. Someone robbed him, and by proxy us, because they took what belongs to us. Supplies that we would need for this trip.
Sort of supplies. Perhaps I can replenish them.
I don't think our business is yours. Nor do I owe you an explanation. Just suffice it to say that in order for us to continue, we need to reclaim our property.
I will double my price. I will double what I'm paying for you for transport.
I don't remember what she was paying us in transport, but it probably
10
wasn't
gold per
like
day.
it probably wasn't like, 300 pounds of Shardland.
No, it really wasn't.
No.
These delays, all these delays. We have the book. We can go.
It's not
I mean,
going anywhere.
Well, and if we have the book, then that petty upstart Nass, she doesn't have it.
Who is that?
Right. Go do whatever. Pardon?
You said a name. What's her name?
Nass.
Yeah, she would want the book.
Well, certainly.
Would she be willing to pay for the book?
I don't actually know what that upstart might or might not do. I'm surprised we got to it before she did.
Well, that's simply because you hired a superior group of adventurers.
Yeah, we should probably stop at wherever she is and let her know that the book is gone and she can quit looking, right? That way she doesn't pester you. And I'm gonna turn and whisper behind my hand, and then we could sell her the real copy. Ha!
Well, I don't know where she is. I just know that she was among those of us who were trying to locate it.
All right, well, go make yourself comfortable. This is probably gonna take a long time.
All right, where are we going for this errand of yours?
So Tally's with Anwise messaging him, Tally's will message him. It's like, so we have the location that we're going to, we have the book and the way to get through. We don't really need her anymore.
She's
she said she was going to pay us, but wasn't she paying us in like the treasure that we would find at the places that we were going?
She's also giving us travel expenses. I think Karis was
true.
just talking about.
That's a good
She
point,
wants us to
actually.
bodyguard her into the
So-
Netherese city.
So Tally's would say, so she's going to give us some gold for going and doing this, but what we could do instead is dump her in the lake
We
and
know
go
a second
ourselves.
buyer. Plus, we know a second buyer.
So this is an idea. We could just dump her in the lake. All she's got is the fake copy. We have the real copy. We can go and just take everything for ourselves, or we could sell the other copy, or we can take
Make
and
another
find.
fake. Make another
No,
fake.
just-
Sell it to the other buyer.
This isn't a whole conversation.
That's true.
But
So
you're using
right, so
So you would just keep
so-
recasting it.
Okay,
message
okay.
to, message from, recast.
All right.
And then so Tallies would be like, so the options are dump her in the lake and go ourselves, make another copy and sell it to this other person, or we go ourselves and take stuff, or final option, we do take her with her and find another way of trying to stop her from getting what she wants while we still get everything that we want. As long as it ends up with her either lost in the wilderness or dead, I'm okay with it.
I think some of the rest of the party would agree with that. We can work out the details, but we got to take care of the blacksmith first. And then I'm going to cut the messages there.
Okay, what are we doing?
So Tallies will say it out loud. So, where shall I? I know obviously Amwes can direct the ship, but I'm assuming that I'm going to reprise my role as pilot.
Well, we don't
that right?
know where we're going. Like we wanted to. We need to follow the trail from the destroyed blacksmiths.
I see.
And Kara said before we were able to find the trail, but we don't actually know the destination or where it goes.
Well-
Not much of a trail because it was today's 26. It was 7 days ago.
But we do know that Garn did go back to the Kelvin's Cairns, the Dwarven Valley, after Elsa had died. So I would think Garn would be our first lead.
We also
Hypothesized. Go ahead.
we have the much vaguer notion of finding whoever created the Shardland Dragon, because then maybe they, took all their materials back. But we don't know who that is or where to even begin looking for that.
That's true.
Landar, aren't you the one who looked through the telescope first? When you
Yes.
first were at the Ascendant?
Yep.
Do you remember what you saw?
I saw the dragon from a distance near mountaintops, I believe. I just can't remember the exact direction right off the top of my head.
Let's see. You guys picked up Id Ascendant. Right in. You guys
Yeah, it was
picked
like
up.
right there.
No, you picked up Id Ascendant here, and you saw the dragon off that way.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, so we saw it. So we saw it off that way, and it was flying towards Duganhold, right?
It wasn't yet. It circled
Okay.
and went back down at that point.
So then, do we try to track down Garn to see what information he can give us, or do we attempt to go towards a rough area of where I originally saw the dragon before it was killed?
It's a good lead as going to Garn. I mean, what would...
Find out exactly what happened.
Okay, so to Garn it is. In the Dwarven Mountain Valley.
Valley. So going to the Dwarven Valley towards Kelvin's Cairn.
How long does it take the id to fly there?
Let's see. What's the normal travel time?
About 11 miles if we fly.
Yeah. And let's see if... Let's see, Bryn Shander, or let's see, Targos to Tourmaline would be travel times. Would be 4 hours. So I would think if it would take 4 hours to get from Targos to Tourmaline by the road, it should only take like an hour and a half or a couple hours to get from Bryn Shander to the Dwarven Valley by airship. I mean, the airship isn't that fast, but it's not that slow either.
And it can just fly over all of the rough terrain as well. So
Yeah. Okay. So, I don't think I have. No, I don't have a map to get there. All right, so you're taking off and heading, taking the Id Ascendant to the Dwarven Valley.
sounds good to me.
All right. So you kind of arrive. You know, you've been there before because you met with some of the Battlehammer dwarves at their forges. So you know roughly where, how close are to the edge, to the entrance, are you going to take the Descendant? You're going to park just right outside?
Well, on the way there, for those of us that are pretty much riding, can we take a short rest along the way?
Absolutely.
Well, before we take a short rest, how about I'm going to go ahead and cast some spells. Those spells are going to be Identify.
Ah, okay.
Just check out these wonderful, wonderful items that we...
Are you casting it on the shield or on the amulet?
I'm going to cast it on both, so let's start with the shield.
Okay, I'm gonna monkey see monkey do the amulet then.
Okay.
Okay.
The shield is +3 shield.
Wow.
And how do I get this?
It's in the journal.
Oh, you did put it in the journal already. Okay. Thank you. Magic items.
It's first item in the journal.
Aha. There you go. So that is a periapt of proof against poison.
Does anybody want the shield? Because I would like the shield.
I think you're the only one that uses them.
Yeah, I think you're the only one that would use them.
Well, we now have a +2 shield to get rid of.
That, to me, sounds like profit. Or a really, really cool, like, snow
No.
sledding
Yeah, I was
experience.
just about to say that.
Or really cool
Just-
sledding.
just park on the top of a hill and just like skid on
+2
down on a
sled.
+2 shield.
I was thinking we got rope tied to the back of the id, take off low altitude, someone rides on the shield.
You know what? We could make money off that as well. We
I
charge
was
people
gonna
for
say
rides.
it's a winter event we can charge for.
Yeah, you know,
Our adventure capitalists, yep.
we can make an amusement with the.
Listen, my research costs money, so I'm all about that bottom line right now.
Okay, so you've cast some spells. You've taken the rest
Yes.
on the way up. You're coming up to the Dwarven Valley where you were before. You had met some fishermen just near the rise to it. You had when you had visited the Battlehammers before. All right. So as you come down, Oh, there it is. So as you come down over the at the hill, and you're starting to coming down to land. Any of you outside looking around? Out on the deck?
Assuming I haven't been replaced, I'll probably be flying the ship. But if I have been, then I'll probably head out onto the deck.
It's between you and Andwise as to which of you is piloting this trip.
I'm easy either way. Andwise, how do you feel about it? Do you want to be the pilot, or do you want to leave it to me? You're probably a better shot than I am. You'd be better in a fight.
No, after I did the identify, I went and relaxed and letting you get your bearings back on piloting because you haven't done it in a while. I mean, you have been dead. Gotta
That's true.
let you get back in the rhythm of being part of the team again.
That's it. It's like riding a bike, but it still takes a moment. So Tallies will hop back in the chair and start getting reacquainted with directing the Descendant.
And the Descendant accepts your commands. So as you are coming up to the valley, what do you instruct the ship?
Okay, so we'll go back to Protocol 1, which is the one where if any of our party come back up and wave, it's to pick us all up and place us on the deck.
Mm-hmm. Do you have the other two protocols engaged as well?
Yeah. I think because Evelyn's, I'm assuming that she's not going to want to come with us.
Do you want her to come? I mean, the thing is,
Oh, sure. She can't say no if we decide that we want her off the ship. But I mean, is she like? I don't know. How does she feel
care
about
your business. She wants to spend the time studying the book and inscribing the spell into her spell book and things like that.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, it's like that's going to take her a little bit. So, yeah. So we'll go ahead and leave her to that then. I'll warn her that if she leaves the cargo hold, bad things will happen. So
and she scowls over at Azathoth.
I mean, you can scowl at him all you want, but these are protocols that I've put in place. So, you know, as I've stated before, I don't trust the Arcane Brotherhood. So I put insurances in place to make sure that you don't try and double cross us.
Upstart wizards. Humph.
Well,
yes,
you know what?
Yes, fine. Go on and do your errand. So just be quick about it, so that then we can go to the glacier.
All right. Well, enjoy your cargo. Well, our cargo hold, I guess. And we'll leave.
All right. So, as you are dismounting outside of the, do you try going down into the valley, or are you parked up on the ridge above?
We're probably going to go at least low enough down that that the tentacles can drop us off, but then have the ship fly high enough so it's not like in anybody's way.
But on the ridge, or are you going to try and navigate the thing down into the valley?
Is there a path down from the ridge that we can easily navigate? If there is, then so just on the ridge. That's fine.
Okay. As you're coming down and you are getting off, Andwise, you notice some motion on the, not towards the dwarves, but on the outer side.
Am I able to tell what it is, or just that there's motion over there?
And if you turn and look, you can tell there are several You don't know what, but there's several something that seem to be sort of hiding and trying to come up on the it's alongside the path.
I'm gonna let Azathoth know that we have someone trying to sneak up on us, possible an ambush. Give him a general direction of where I saw the movement.
Turning in that direction, or is it? Can I see them too?
Turning in that direction. Give me a perception check. Your passive is your passive is still pretty good. Yeah, once it's pointed out to you, you can see some moving figures. And I am going to move you back to the Snowy Encounters map. So the kind of the path, give me a freehand. The path to go down goes this way. You see the figures over, and let me get back to that. Kind of over here, ducking in and around mounds. The path coming up from the from the west. I mean, it comes over to here. Yeah.
And you said that they were definitely hostile, like they're trying to sneak up on us.
They appear. They're stealthy. They're moving up from cluster to cluster. And I shall have the tokens out there. Wait a minute. I put the tokens down here.
Well, so okay, the area that you had pinged to, it's within Eldritch Blast range.
Okay.
So
they have partial cover behind the hillocks.
Sure, but if they're sneaking up, I would send out a couple warning blasts at the two in the front.
And you see one moving up now.
Yeah, I just... Ow. Oh, I do not have advantage. Why am I double rolling? I'll fix it. 19.
19. A 19 will definitely hit.
Yeah, so then just kind of, shoot at him, hit him, and then I'm going to shout, but he probably won't hear me because it's too far. Stop your advancing!
All right, I need initiative.
Yeah, I figured. I did just shoot that guy.
I was going to say, I don't think it's a...
Did you give me damage on him? The 19?
No, I did not.
I was going to say, I don't think it's a warning shot if you hit him.
Well, I mean, it was only 2 damage.
It didn't kill him.
It was a tickle.
It's like a warning slap. It's like, hey, listen, behave yourself.
Yeah. Knock it off.
For I'm missing Cairo. Okay, there's Tali.
Tali's back on form with his sub 10 initiatives.
We all are, except for Pip and Landar. And okay, everybody.
There's Cairo's.
Did we take rest or anything since the last battle?
You've had a short rest.
Okay.
Oh, that's important. Who needs a long rest?
All right, so these guys are attempting to stealth. Does somebody have the sheet open? Stealth is which? Which stat?
Dexterity.
Dexterity. Yes, so I'm assuming... Well, so are those of us with like low perception surprised for the first round, or are we aware enough that there's something going on we just can't see the target?
I mean, you just saw me shoot things.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
You're not surprised, and they're far enough away, and they're moving up, and they're moving from sort of hillock to hillock, and they are not very well hidden. You don't necessarily see all of them, but you do see them as they dart from cover to cover. All right, Androids.
Alright, let's start. Oh, I didn't have time to cast this ahead of time, so I'm going to have to cast it now.
Okay.
I'm then going to use my mage hand to move my little guy up over here.
Okay.
So 10, oh, too far. I want to move him to there. And then I'm going to point to the one and say, kill it. And then that will basically end my turn.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I moved before he had his turn. When you say kill it, I didn't give you the turn for that. Okay.
He missed.
He missed. Okay. All right, Pip.
Well,
You can tell
Right.
where most of them are, but most of them have cover from where you are. At least
Okay.
partial cover.
well, I am going to give Landar some inspiration. So we'll do that first. And then I'm going to cast Sanctuary on myself.
So they have to make wisdom saves before they can strike you, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Or we'll just do that. There you go.
All right.
that
Anything
is-
else, Pip? Are you going to move?
I have an action, so. Oh wait, I can't cast Sanctuary. I give
You could cast a cantrip.
I'm just no. Tallies or not Tallies. Landar, you're not inspired. Sorry.
Okay.
And then I'm just gonna dodge.
Okay.
That's it.
Landar.
All right. Oh, they're trying to come up, so I'm going to move. All right, I get to there. And since I'm not too close enough, I will actually fire. Ray of Frost at it. So it misses, maybe?
Let me see. Which one? The one closest to you? That is
Yeah.
a miss.
In that case, I will. That's it for my turn.
All right. That brings us to Cairo.
All right, I'm going to use dash action to move in close. So is
How
that
close
about
do
as
you
far
get?
as I? Is that about
Okay.
as far as I can move?
Was that how? Where did you start? You can move 60 feet if you dash. Yeah.
Okay. And as a bonus action, I think I'll cast Spiritual Weapon.
Okay.
And cast
And-
this one.
I'm gonna cast it next to that one. That is definitely a hit.
And that'll be it.
Okay. And I think you have a token for your spiritual weapon. You want to make sure you know it's there. Tallies,
Okay.
you're next.
Okay, give me a sec.
That's a spiritual weapon?
No, this is me. This is Tally's.
Oh, you're casting a spell. You're placing a spell. Right. Sorry.
I am. I'm just deciding where it's gonna go. That's all. Okay. Yeah, I'll go for those two. So targeted there. It is going to be a level 4 fireball, but I am replacing the damage type with radiant. So it's
Pierce
literally just
damage.
a
As far
bright glowing ball of light that shoots out, and it just explodes in sort of white hot light instead of sort of the
Okay.
red fire.
And that is dexterity saves?
Dexterity saves DC 18.
That's a couple of fails. They both take 31 of radiant damage.
And as a bonus action, 30 feet closer. And that will be everything for Tallies.
Azathoth.
5, 10, 25, 30. Let's see, we'll do our movement first and kind of scope things out. Yeah, no, we'll dash up here to stand there. And then I guess for bonus action,
Did you move your token?
are you shitting me? Right here.
Okay, I've moved your token too.
Bonus action. I'm gonna Misty Step. No, fuck it. I'm done. I'm just finished.
Okay. As these guys approach you, you can see that they look like humans, but they look like they're just ravaged with frostbite, and their clothes are all ragged. And let's see, this one's gonna head up. Okay, 5, 10, 15, 20. That one's gonna come up and engage with you. This one's gonna come up and engage with you. This one's gonna come up to the next hillock. This one is going to spend time trying to attack the spiritual weapon. 30. This one's not quite going to make it to Cairo. And this one is going to come over behind this hillock here. All right, so the one that is attacking Landar first, it has a flail in its hand that it strikes at you 3 times. I think 2 of those.
All right. I'm going to use a reaction
Uh-huh.
and cast shield.
Okay.
So 21 AC now.
All right, so only 1 hits.
Oh, hold on. I had to reset. I just loaded back in. I'd want to use that when this guy walks up to me.
Absolutely. When he comes into your range, yes, absolutely. And that is
Why is it still doing
all right. That is a hit. Give me some damage.
it? Oh my god. Come on.
And Landar, I need a con save from you. There we go.
Yep.
All right, so you are poisoned until the end of its next turn or your next turn? I think it's the end of your next turn. Okay, so this next attack then is with a javelin against Azathoth.
Hit.
3. I think only the first one hits.
Yes.
Okay, and I need a con save from you. The next one is going to be a ranged attack against Cairo. Is that a save? That is a fail. You are also
Wait,
poisoned.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, whatever.
All right. Next one's a ranged attack against Cairo, and there's only one of those. I don't think a 19 hits. Does a 19 hit, Cairo?
I believe it does.
His
Oh,
AC
you
is
believe it
18.
does. 18, okay. And I need a Constitution save from you, Cairo. And this one, it doesn't matter how good his attack is against the spiritual weapon isn't actually there. All right, that is going to bring us around to Andwai. Oh, I need to, Cairo, that is a failure, so you are poisoned until the end of your next turn.
Isn't it a success since I have +3 to my save?
It's
Yes,
in the
it
roll.
is.
It's in the roll.
Oh, it's yours is already in your roll. That's right. So no, you are poisoned until the end of your next round. All right, that brings us to Andwise.
All right, you see the 90-foot line I drew?
No, I wasn't looking. Yes.
It goes through.
Catapult.
It goes through those three.
Yep, it does. They need dex saves.
Yep. And it keeps going until it either misses all three or the first one gets hit.
All right, so the first one, dex saves, 1 hits.
There you go. He got hit. All right,
the
so
very
the one
first
by
one got
Cairo got hit.
Yep. Come on. Oh, it did take it. Okay, minus 16. All right. That one's looking
All right.
kind of torn up.
On that same one,
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna go with that shot.
And that's a hit.
I'm completely done.
All right, Pip.
I am going to move up and I'm going to give inspiration to Lando. Be inspired.
Thank you.
And that will be.
Shouting out inspiring words to you, yes.
And that is it. I'm going to dodge.
All right. Landar.
All right. So initially, I'm poisoned, so I have disadvantage.
Correct.
All right. I'm going to try and use that bardic inspiration, which I think is a D8. Correct?
Here.
It is a D8.
Perfect. There you go. The 16 hit.
A 16 does hit.
Awesome. Then I'm going to use a key point to stunning strike it.
Okay. And I've lost his. There he is.
Con save.
Yeah. And that's a fail. He is stunned.
Awesome. All right. So now all the rest of my attacks are now even.
All right. That's a hit. That is a miss.
And then one more.
That is a miss.
All right. That's it.
All right.
Remember, he failed the save, so all of these attacks should be at advantage.
It's
It's the
poisoned.
same one.
I'm
No,
poisoned,
because
so it
he's
countered.
poisoned.
Oh,
so
right,
it's
yeah,
a
sorry, no, that's-
disadvantage. Yep. Brings us to Cairo.
Okay, I'm going to move there and take a swing with my axe.
Okay. It's a miss. That is also a miss.
Bonus action, spiritual weapon.
Okay. Okay, now you're at disadvantage because you are poisoned. So give me another roll on that spiritual weapon. Ah, it is meant to be a 24 with 11 damage. That is a hit. A nice solid hit, and he is still trying to swing at the thing that keeps hitting him. Okay, anything else? Let's see,
Nope.
you've done some movement? Okay, brings us to Tallies.
So Tally's is pretty much going to do the same thing again.
Okay, so we've got 3 of them, and making...
But this is going to be fire damage because I can't replace the damage with anything else.
All right. 2 of them definitely fail. What was your DC?
18.
18. They all 3 fail, so they all 3 take 33. All right, let me get that out of the way. All right. As a blast of fire comes in and singes them, and they screech out. Fire burns on frostbite. Ugh, gosh, I hurt thinking about that. Ugh. Anything else?
Doesn't sound
Tallies?
pleasant, does it?
It really doesn't.
All right. Tally's is actually going to move forward a little bit too.
Okay.
And sorry, my bonus action will be to move this guy. Let's move in there.
All right. Azatoth.
I will start by using my bonus action to cast Spirit Trap.
Okay. Does the Berserker take damage immediately?
He doesn't do anything until I hit him.
Okay.
And then we will do that.
Yes, you will. Give me
So
some damage.
there's a hit for 10 damage from Shroud. To charge from the tattoo.
All
For a
right.
total of 25, 34.
15. Ah! Oops. Hang on. Okay.
It's
He's not looking at all good.
still alive. Okay.
He is still alive.
Attack number 2.
He's probably not alive after this. Give me some damage.
12.
He's not alive.
33. All right. Well, with it dead, I'm just gonna move forward here, and I've already used my bonus action, so I'm done.
Okay. Brings us back
Oh,
around
you
to
know what? No,
these
hold on.
guys.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
There was something I was going to. Those should have been at disadvantage because I'm poisoned, but I was going to say with my object interaction, I'll take the periapt out of my pocket and slip it on my head, so then the poison doesn't matter.
This is true.
Yeah. So sorry, I should have said that first, but forgot.
Okay, you are no longer poisoned. All right. So, okay, that guy is still doing this. These 2 are going to come up to engage Azatoth.
I would use my reaction.
Range to hit one of them, yes.
Yeah, the one on the right.
Okay.
So attack will hit.
Yes, it will.
There's that. There's Shroud, and I need to check the wording on the tattoo. When you hit a creature with a weapon attack. Yeah, so I will do that as well. I'll expend a charge for another 10. So 1928 on the one on the right.
Yep. All right. All right. So the one next to Landar is stunned. So we shall start. And this guy is getting really mad, and he is really putting his rage into his attack against the spiritual weapon. All right, so we're going to start with the 2 that are on. One of them has got a flail, so this is against Azatoth. 2, 3.
17 hits.
The other one is using his javelin. I'm going to need a con save.
I'm immune to poison.
True, you're immune to poison. Never mind on the con save. All right, so if that hit, then this one's going to hit. Does a 16 hit?
That's my AC.
All right.
Okay,
That guy's
so it's
dead. This guy's playing with that. This guy is attacking Cairo.
7,
So,
32.
and he came in with a javelin. So these three are against Cairo. The first one will hit. And Cairo, I need a con save from you. As to whether you're... Okay, you are no longer going to be poisoned. That is all for them and Wise.
All right, we're gonna barely miss the spiritual weapon. Try hitting that guy, and then if it keeps flying, we're gonna go for it over to the 2 down by Azathoth.
Okay. Dex saves. What's the DC?
It's a
What's your
13.
DC? 13? Okay, so the very first, it hits the first one again. Minus 19. All right. And you don't have to worry about the spiritual weapon. It isn't an actual thing that you could hit, so. This guy just doesn't know that it keeps hitting him, and so he's trying to attack it back. These guys aren't very smart.
All right. And then it's gonna keep attacking the one that it was attacking before, which is the one next to Cairo.
Next to Cairo, right. Oh, that's a nice hit. -4. All right, force damage. It's getting a thump in the ear. Anything else? Any movement?
I moved up, so I was close enough to actually fire off the catapult.
Perfect. None of your people are looking too hurt except possibly Azathoth.
Well, I will.
Actually, Azathoth is looking a little ragged.
Yeah. I am going to cast Healing Word on Azathoth.
Nice.
And
Wait, that's not. You're a life cleric, so it's +5.
cast.
It isn't built into the +9. No.
No.
Okay.
I don't know
So add 5 to
why
that.
it
Wait,
doesn't-
is it?
It should be, yeah.
Okay.
It should be built into that.
It doesn't do it automatically, but I don't remember. Oh, it's D&D Beyond. Yes, it is. Never mind.
Anyways, who's poisoned? Okay. Well,
Cairo is still poisoned.
he'll be- that's it for me. Take back
Okay.
action.
All right. Landar.
All right. First strike.
Ugh.
All right.
You do have an
and
advantage because he's still stunned, right? Till
To
the end
that
of
is
your
the end
turn.
of his turn.
You want to go crit fishing?
Nah, why not?
Okay, no crit.
No.
All right.
Okay.
Second strike.
Well, I'm going to use actually another key point to make sure I keep him stunned. So,
Okay.
con save.
Here's his sheet. Oh, yeah, he's staying
All right.
stunned.
He's staying.
Hit for another 4. Okay. Another 8. Okay. Oh my goodness, there we go, crit fishing. Let's see, -10. All right. He is pummeled up. He is pummeled, and stunned.
All right.
Are you
that's
going
it.
to do any movement or anything? You're going to stick with him?
Yep, sticking with him.
All right. He's your chew toy. He's your punching bag. Okay, Cairo, you are still poisoned.
I thought I wasn't poisoned anymore after my
No,
last
you're not anymore.
con save.
Yes, you're right. You are not. I thought I took that off. Apparently, I didn't take that off. You are correct. You are no longer poisoned. There. Oh. I don't know why it's not coming off. Okay, that will miss. That will hit. Ooh, that's a nice solid hit. This guy, that practically cleaves through his collarbone as it comes down and you pull it out.
Okay.
Your bonus action?
I'm going to attack with my spiritual weapon on that
Okay.
guy.
This guy over here, go for it. Guaranteed to keep that guy busy over there attacking your spiritual weapon. Okay, that's a nice solid hit. Are you going to move?
Is the guy in front of me dead or not yet?
He's not quite dead yet. Don't. He's not dead yet.
All right, then I'll stay put.
Tallies.
Okay. Tallies is going to target the guy here under Azathoth. I've got the wrong one selected. Yep, the one to the south of Azathoth. I'm going to hit him with a chromatic orb, except I'm going to replace the damage type with slashing damage. So I'll create a slicing sheer wind.
Okay.
I'm also
So
so it's going to be second level. Well, it says acid, but it's going to be slashing.
right. Alrighty, this is an attack. That is a hit for 14 slashing damage. Okay.
And my ghosty boy is going to move a little further.
Oh, oops.
Gonna slide
I
on
should have
down
been doing
there.
this guy's reckless.
He's going to slide down there, and he's just going to start like sort of wafting its hands like in front of the one next to Azathoth. For whatever that's worth.
Okay.
But that'll be at the end of my turn.
Guy in the top.
That's a hit.
All right, hit. Shroud.
14.
Got 2.
29. And just as it comes in and your glaive cuts him, it just hits exactly the right amount. And you pause to admire your handiwork as it drops dead in front of you.
Turns and attacks the other guy. Ew. Bonus action.
That is a hit.
You said that does?
Yeah, the 16 hits, yes.
8 plus Spirit Shroud plus another tattoo charge.
17, 27, 36. It is still alive, but just barely.
Good. Good. I think. Let me see. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. I will let him try and hit me because I'm going to walk away.
Okay. He shall attempt to hit you. He was hitting you, I think, with the flail.
16 is a hit.
All right. Click. There we go.
So I will take
4.
4. But then you fool! Ha ha! You see you have hit me, so I will expend a charge and attack you with my reaction.
Aha!
Hiya! Oh, it's 15.
Yeah, that's a hit.
Oh, all right, there we go. Good.
And you get to take some of the back. You get some of the healing, right?
That's if I use a charge. Oh shit! I should have been doing that this whole time. So yeah, there's plus 12 there. Because is it the full amount or half the amount?
It said right there.
Regain a number of hit points equal to the necrotic
equal to
damage
the
dealt.
necrotic damage dealt.
Yeah, so whatever you roll on the blood fury. Oh shit, man, I've done that 14, 19, and 15. Good thing it's all in the chat.
Yes. Okay. Anything else? Are you going to continue moving? He's dead, by the way.
Yes. I guess I'll come over here. What's up, guy? And then I'm done.
Put that poor guy out of his misery. So
Yeah,
he is still stunned. This guy is getting ever more reckless in his attacks against that, and I should have been doing these guys reckless all along, and I forgot. So this guy up against, we have the one remaining here against Cairo. He is going to attack recklessly, which means you will get advantage on him, and he's using his javelin. 1, 2, 3. So 2 of them hit. You have an 18 AC, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you take, and I need 2 Constitution saves from you against poison. Okay, well, oh, nope, the second hit got through, so you are poisoned until the end of your next turn. So you will have disadvantage, but it attacked recklessly, so you will have a normal roll. Okay, that is it for them and Weiss.
All right, seeing Azathoth move over by Landar, I know that they're fine. So I'm just going to take a shot at the one next to Cairo.
Mhm. That is definitely a yeah, and he blast of light and the guy drops.
All right, bonus action. I'm going to point at the one fighting the spiritual weapon.
Mm-hmm. That will miss.
Yeah, he switched targets. He wasn't ready for it.
Wasn't ready for it. Any movement?
No, I feel pretty safe here. I got Pip and Cairo between me and the bad guys.
Okay, Pip. There is still one standing stunned next to Landar that Azathoth has now come up with, and there's the one over here that is furiously combating Cairo's spiritual weapon.
I am just going to Toll the Dead, the one next to the spiritual weapon, getting
All right.
rid of the sanctuary. So, Toll the Dead. Bop.
He fails.
You take this out. And then I will give Landar a inspiration.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You
And
have
that is
post.
it.
All right. Speaking of Landar, you gonna put your guy out of his misery?
I'm
Actually,
not sure if I can.
Yeah, I don't know. Actually, he's not even bloodied yet. He's quite sturdy if stunned. Oh. Okay. That's a
All right.
good solid crit.
And stunning strike. Keep him where he needs to be.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Oh, he does not have advantage on this. That was and he's still stunned.
All right.
I was gonna say I should give him disadvantage with that crit, but I don't need to. He's still stunned. Alrighty. You're having a nice training day, pummeling at him. Even that one hits. You're getting bored there, I think. You don't have quite as much oomph.
Yep. All right. That's all of my attacks.
Are you gonna do any movement, or are you gonna continue with your training here?
Oh, he's my good training partner.
He is. Okay, Cairo. The one in your face is is dead. There's this one that is attacking recklessly and furiously. And he is completely engaged with your spiritual weapon. Okay, that is a good solid hit. It's still alive, but your spiritual weapon is definitely doing better than he is, and it's winning.
Okay. In which case, I'm going to come over and finish him off.
Poor guy out of his misery. Go for it. Oh, come on, go do another one. That one
Okay,
you
I'm going to
forgot
use my
and you
guided
sparred.
strike on this one.
Okay, you forgot and you were sparring with your spiritual weapon there. Okay, guided strike does what?
Plus 10 to the roll.
Okay, that's what I was looking for. All right, he's dead. You just sliced cleanly through the neck. His head and his body fall different directions, and he is gushing blood out on the snow next to you.
All right, that's it for me.
Okay, Tallies.
All right. Tollies is going to target this guy down here with another chromatic orb. He's going to keep it at first level. He's stunned, right? So first level.
He is stunned.
So it's advantage. Sorry.
Yep.
Keep it first level, and the damage type is going to be thunder. So it's just going to be a resounding boom, a sonic boom that just kind of shoots forward and shakes
And
him to his core.
If you crit, you'll rattle the other two next to him. You did not crit. All right. 13 thunder damage. He is rattled to his core. Go for it.
Okay, and ghosty guy. He's gonna come in like, I'm gonna get you.
Okay.
He's gonna come in with his hands like this, like he's about to tickle him.
Oh. Okay. Any movement?
That's it. That's it. Sorry. Yeah.
How's it up? Oh, that's okay. This guy's gonna be out of his misery. Give me damage.
You sure?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's dead. And the thing falls quiet.
Well, that was strange.
Okay.
Now-
I don't know what it's doing.
Assuming that, these things aren't made of Shardland, but I think their weapons were, we would kind of see similarities in the metal, correct?
Yes. You are.
So these things are attacking us. We're looking for Garn, who's supposed to have our Shardland, and these guys are here attacking us with Shardland. This looks like somebody's coming back to try and get their material.
Or Garn went evil, made himself an army of protectors to defend himself for when we eventually came for retribution. Yep, that's it. Garn's the big bad.
All right.
So yeah, these guys are they've been ravaged with frostbite. Their clothes look ratty, like they have not done any maintenance at all for quite some time. Yeah.
And
Question.
You can tell that based on their clothing, you would they had been nomads, rugged nomads, based on their clothing type. That takes some looking to really tell that, but you're very familiar with those, so.
Is the Shardland like part of their like armor?
They are. Oops, I lost their sheet. Where'd their sheet go? They're wearing hide armor. They're not wearing metal armor.
Ew.
So the metal in their weapons, their javelins, their javelin points, the flail chains and the flail points, our Shardland.
Interesting.
Now,
Are you
How many-
gathering these guys together? What are you doing with these guys here?
yeah, I was gonna say, can we gather these weapons?
Yes. Let's see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. So you've got
Probably a good idea to gather all the bodies together too.
so you have 8 of the javelins. Actually, no, because you can get the ones that are thrown to you. You've got 10 of the javelins, and you have 4 flails.
All right.
Do you also go through and are you also searching the bodies as you're moving them?
I mean, why not?
Yeah, Tallies will help like move the bodies as best he can. He's not particularly strong, but he'll do his part. And yeah, because he wants to gather the bodies up so he can burn them in a pyre.
One of them has an ice ring on its finger that has inscribed in the ice, carved into the ice, are tiny snowflakes.
Okay. Do they? I mean, it doesn't appear to be obviously magical, I assume.
If you were looking at it, you would probably guess that it was magical.
Okay. If that's the case, I will use my use per day of casting a ritual spell as an action, and use Identify.
Okay, so this is all right. That answers that. So it is. What would you? Take that aura off. Okay. Cairo, you feel a wave of warmth come over you, and you recover 3 hit points in healing and identify. I need to look at the actual wording on identify. What is identify going to tell you about this? It is going to tell you its properties, how to use them, whether it requires. Okay, so this is a teleportation ring. And it's a ring that will cause a teleportation effect around it to go somewhere, and it would trigger if you removed it from the person. You are muted?
Sorry. So if you took the ring off the person, it would cause an area of effect teleport?
Yep.
If you took it off them.
If you took it off him.
Okay. And no indication as to where it would take us.
It goes to a specific place. I don't know that you would.
That's fine.
Yeah,
So
I don't know whether you know
I'll
exactly
turn
where
to the
it is.
party and say, so this one has a ring on him, and this ring is a ring that, if removed from the person holding it, it teleports like in an area around it. So we could potentially take the ring off and teleport to wherever it is that they came from or whoever their boss is. But then at the same time, it could be a failsafe that if the ring was taken off them, it teleports whoever killed them to, the pit of infinite death.
So let's cut the hand off and leave the ring on till we need to.
I mean, it's an idea. We could always We could always have ask Evelyn if she can take the ring and check it out.
My
This
concern.
is an area of effect where you'd want to be at least 100 feet away from her when she did.
Yeah, we'll bring it down here, and we'll all back up and hide behind rocks and stuff. Sorry, what was that, Azatoth?
My concern would not be going to the other destination on the other side of the ring. My concern instead would be that wherever we go, the Ascendant would be far from us. So we would be separated from our belongings and our means of transportation. How would we return?
That's true. And is it teleporters in the teleportation spell?
I don't think. I mean, similar. It's going to be similar. It's going to have a lot of. It's going to have a longer range, I think. Let's see. Teleportation.
But my main question is that is it possible that this thing could teleport us to another plane, an extra planar destination?
No, it's not another plane.
Okay, so I could potentially ask the Ascendant if it is capable of tracking us, even when we're not within line of sight of the ship. If there's a way for it to be able to track us, and then if the ring teleports us somewhere really far away, the Ascendant can essentially just fly to where we are and hover above us. If that's possible, I don't know if it is. I could ask.
How would it sense where we are?
Well, I honestly don't know. It seems to be able to communicate via psychic projection, but I don't know what the range of it is. I mean, normally I'd need to be in the chair to be able to give it direct commands, but at the same time, it's able to sense things from various distances. So I don't know what the limit of that distance is, whether it's planar, extraplanar, or just immediate vicinity. I mean, like I said, I could ask, but
I don't trust you.
Your concern is well founded.
And your
I
DM
wouldn't
is
want to leave
scrambling to
the.
try and figure out what the answer is.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily want to leave the descendants in the hands of Villain.
Oh, Villain is not getting the ship.
She definitely wouldn't, but I just wouldn't want to leave it with her in case she happens to try and find a way around the fail safes that we've put in place, or whatever else happens.
You know that one of the fail safes involves the Ascendant crashing itself into a cliff.
True.
I thought it was the ocean.
Oh
yeah,
right.
was it? Well, yeah. The one that I set up was for it to fly essentially like what was it? Something like 150 meters into the 150 miles into the sea of moving ice, and then dive as deep as it can into the water.
I think that's better than no one can get our stuff. If we can't have it, no one will.
I don't think we should mess with it. I'd rather not
Okay.
be separated from our belongings and ship.
So should we keep it? Should we remove the arm and we can keep it with us? And then if we decide that we want to try it later, we still have access to it.
I mean, we could always use it against someone. Like,
yes,
we throw it
we'll
somewhere.
put the ring on some fishing line, and we'll sever the hand, and we'll throw the hand like a grenade, and then but he said it was 100 feet. I don't think we could throw that far.
I'm pretty
But-
sure that Anwise could probably handle that.
Wait, what if we had 101 feet of rope, and then we set it on somebody, and I
We don't
dimension
need
door
rope.
away? Huh?
I think Anwise could probably just catapult the ring itself away.
I mean,
But
we
you
could
have
always.
to get it off but you have to be able to get it off how far does his mage hand go away from him?
Oh no, I
So that
have
you
the
get ring
solution.
off of it.
Here, we'll take the severed hand. We'll submerge it in one of the brain jelly crates, and the hand will slowly decompose until it's just a piece of rotting matter, and then we catapult the hand, which will disintegrate upon impact, and then the ring would be activated.
I mean, we could always just set it up somewhere as a trap. You know, if we know there's people there, you set it up somewhere, just maybe sticking, out of the snow or the ground far away until they find it, and we just watch from a distance while whatever happens as they pull it off the finger. I think that could also work.
That could potentially work too.
But are we agreed that we're just taking the hand?
Oh yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
we'll take the hand for now until we figure out what it is we're going to do with it.
Make a sweeping chop with the glaive.
Hey,
Toss it to Pip to carry.
Watch as soon
No.
as soon as we sever the hand, it's like activating. Whoosh.
All right. So what are you doing with the 10 javelins and 4 flails?
I mean, if we're close enough to the ship still, I figure we just drop that off there and continue on.
Okay. All right. So, after that, are you going to head down into the valley?
I believe so.
All right. I am going to then move us to a nice mood map. Alrighty. So you follow the trail. No. They follow the trail down in, and as you get down into the forge area where you know that the Battlehammer clan was. Actually, this is a good spot. I'm going to have you sort of approaching them. They're noticing you unless you're taking stealth measures.
Ah,
I mean, as far as I know, we've no reason to hide, do we?
No,
Yeah.
I mean, we're looking for a friend.
and we've
Okay,
helped the
so you're
dwarves twice before.
So you're walking up, they're turning and looking towards you, and this is a good place to call it for this session.
Thank you. All right, you heard the boss. That's it for today. I'm gonna head out. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate you very much. Make sure you hit that follow button, and I will see you next time.